So 2 failed attempts with the back-to-back sides. You kick a goal in 79.
Yeah, this was a good side. Captained by Tucker, Craig Coleman. He's 5'8", finished up being a Wallaby. David Knox had the silkiest hands you've ever seen. And Darren McCarthy was another one that went on to play at first grade level, good player. Darren Finlayson was a hooker in the side. This particular side we played, Benny Elias was the captain of Balmain. And we got to play him. We played him in the last official trial before the competition started. And a bloke that I knew coached him. He come to me before the game and he said, if it suits you, he said, I'm only going to give me spare players a small amount of time if I want a real hit out. And I said, well, that's fine by us. So anyway, Benny was our captain, as I said, and Darren Finlayson was our hooker. So we played them in that game. We played at that ground over at Leichhardt, Blackmore Road, where a canal runs along the side. And you're not allowed to kick that side because they used to lose all the footballs. You had to just advance the ball 10 metres, which was good anyway, kept the game going. But then we met them in the rounds, Balmain, and then we met them in the grand final at the old sports ground. Pissing down rain in the mud, and Finno was our number one hooker. And against Benny, in the 3 games that we played Balmain, Finno was our best player, Darren Finlayson. Poor bugger's got multiple sclerosis now. He's not real well. He's a great mate of Tugger's. But Finno, the harder the game, the better it suited him. He was tough. He was a tough cookie.
That's the old inner city of South Sydney where we used to produce Waterloo, Chelsea, Redfern, Zetland.
It's a shame now because all those clubs you just mentioned are nearly all defunct. Even clubs before them, like the old South Sydney Fernleys, Chelsea, Moore Parker on their last legs, Zetland. All the inner city clubs are just starting to fall by the wayside. All the tough players were produced in there. That was for sure.
So you won the comp in 79, but I did notice you've lost a game there.
Yeah, we went over to Manly. I think we'd won 4 from 4. We'd won all our trials very easily. And we led 13-0 after about 15 or 20 minutes. And a lot of the junior league officials, the Leagues Club was close by. We played at Brookvale Oval. They went around there to have a little drink and got back, and I'd locked the dressing room door when they got back at full time, and they said, what's Nixie got the shits about? I said, the score was 26-13. We led 13-0. And they said, well, that's still a win. But it wasn't. We got beat 26-13. They had a bloke, Phil Blake, played. I don't know where he was their first 3 games because they got beat by big margins. We beat a team the week before that beat them the week before by 50. We beat them by 50. So I thought, well, we're going to have a cruisy game here, and I think the players thought the same thing. Well, Phil Blake, the second half, he must have scored 4 tries and set up another 1 or 2. And I think that was a reason, because Tugger was in love with him, that he finished up coming to South. Because Tugger drove him mad to bring him across, and he played with a few clubs, Phil, but he was a brilliant player in those days. But that was a good side. And
I think he won the try scoring. Scored the most tries in 83 for Manly his rookie year, I'm sure of it. Phil Blake, which is pretty rare for a halfback.
About 27. It wasn't just a...
Yeah,
it was
27 tries in 83, yeah.
And I reckon probably a third of those would have been chips over the top and re-gathers. He was a freak at it.
I actually did some sprint training with Phil Blake at Centennial Park with Jack Giddies and Reg Austin, and it was at the back end of his career when I think he was running around with St George at the time. He could still motor. Like from 0 to 20, he was an Olympic sprinter off the marks, his thighs, he just had perfect technique.
Had a real low running style, didn't he?
Yeah, really
close
thick.
to the ground.
He was all hips and that. Yeah.
He scooped up balls off his toes. He was, that 89 side, and I think, Mavo can contest to how good a footballer he actually was. And he missed out on the Kangaroo Tour, I think, Was it the 90 Kangaroo Tour or?
Yeah, I think he did.
And that's probably, you go back and look at on some of the players. Like Dylan Edwards would probably miss out and who never played for Australia, but you can go back and through the years and who's been the unluckiest bloke never. And
attacking wise, I mean, he's up there with Greg Alexander in my opinion, and Brandy got to represent
who's that
Australia.
type
The knock on him was defence, but he done back then. You could cover that, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a very good side, Tucker's side. Yeah. Yeah, that was a game we lost against Manly. Yeah, the only game we put it together after that and won the remaining matches.